Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Sonic Colors for the Nintendo Wii. We are continuing our hunt for all of the red star rings and going after all of the S ranks, and now it is time for what is the absolute worst stage in the game to do so. It's time for Aquarium Park. Love the music, love the aesthetics, but my god, I hate the stages when it comes to collecting everything. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we want to hit that, we want to be boosting over that dash ramp, and then when it launches us into the air, you've got to boost again to try and hit those lasers. What you also got to make sure is that you don't not the lasers, the rainbow rings. What you also got to make sure you don't do is go between the rainbow rings, because that's what happened to me while I was trying to do this. So what you're seeing, of course, is the successful ascent. Yeah, it is very possible to go in between that first set of rainbow rings. You need to take that upper pathway in order to get to that first red ring. And the main issue is so many of these red rings are underwater. And you know, these stages are so enormous. I didn't realise I still had the laser with me. Why is that laser even there? Like, what is its purpose? Did I miss something? I don't quite see why the laser is there. Still, I now have the drill, because this is what you're going to be doing for so many of these levels. You are just drilling around and around in the water. Look how far these go down. It's important. Once you've reached the bottom, you're not making your way back to the top again. Like, so because Sonic moves so slowly in the water, I think even slower than most other games. Even with your infinite jumps, there's no way you're making it back to the surface. So you go down so far. Really, Sonic should be long dead. The water pressure down here should be enormous. I'm surprised there's even light at the bottom of all of this. What with how far down we're going. Look, we must be getting like hundreds of meters down by this point. If Sonic's size is anything to go by, because what is he? A meter tall? Something like that? So just keep grabbing these circles of rings. Sometimes you've got to make sure you go through the correct pipes. So in this case, you can take the bottom route into here as well. There are two ways in here. But we've got to make sure then that you hit the top pipe on the right. I mean, we already got this red ring already, but you can grab that. Try to make sure you don't go past it. Try to make sure you don't accidentally run into the choppers on your way out, which is very, very easy to do. Or that you don't accidentally stomp on the spike balls. And this is the other problem with Aquarium Park. For a lot of the levels, they probably want you to play it twice. But if you're someone like me that likes to try and get everything you can on the first go, then you do have to backtrack in a fair few of these levels. So I think I just barely made this because I actually spend a bit too much time circling around for rings. That's the thing, in order to get like the color bonus and everything, you gotta make sure that you don't spend too much. You are going to need a large ring bonus. Your time bonus isn't going to be enough. Even all of your points, with all the drilling around you're doing, it's not going to be enough. In several of these levels, you're going to need a fair few hundred rings, which is easy enough to do. You just got to make sure you don't run into anything. And thankfully, when Aquarium Park's levels are short, they are short. The problem is when they're long, they're long. And that's the main issue with Aquarium Park. It's just these levels are the biggest in the game. And trying to find everything in a big level is already hard enough. When you've got to do it underwater, which, you know, are pretty infamous in Sonic games, it's horrible. It's so easy to get lost. And there were plenty of times where I was like, did I skip a red ring? Or did I? Or did I not? For the most part, it turned out that I didn't. I was thinking a bit too far ahead. And there are plenty of times where you gotta do awkward laser aiming as well. They really like the it's not just a drill. They really like the laser in these stages as well. So you're gonna be using the laser quite a lot, and sometimes it's some really difficult places to aim. I don't think it matters how far you charge this up. It's only gonna go so far. You can't knock it into all of the egg balls. That's stupid though. Why does it leave one behind? This last one's a pain as well. You've got to I'm not even sure how you're supposed to get to it. So this is one way of doing it, but I fail multiple times. So when you jump out of the water, Sonic goes really freaking high. Then you gotta try and wall jump up there. I think what they intend you to do is to land on this switch, and then that lowers the platform, and then you've got to slide off. I honestly don't know how you're supposed to actually get to this way. And you gotta stay on. You gotta hit the switch again once it goes up, otherwise it stays there. So you might be able to run off, but I'm not sure exactly how. Thankfully, despite all of this, I still managed to get the S rank. You know, otherwise I wouldn't be showing you guys this. So it's generous in that regard, but trying to get this freaking red ring, it's way harder than it looks. Yeah, that or it's just me. Which is the more likely one of the two, to be honest. There we go. And I was just like, you know what? I can grab like 600 rings by the time I'm at the end here. Maybe that can make up for the time bonus. Let's find out. And of course, try and destroy as many choppers as you can, or whatever these things were called. There we go. 600 rings. Drill bonus. Points for the choppers. And there we go. And it was still enough. Not so much for the time bonus, but there we go. Finished with 601 rings. So now it's time for something shorter, and something without any water in it. Oh my god, what is this? That said, this one can still be kind of annoying, because this one you've got to go fast, which Sonic's jump really isn't designed for. Again, Sonic's control is quite stiff in this game, 2D and 3D. And that does make sections where you've got to platform on all of these cubes, especially single ones, whilst going quickly, quite difficult. Because these rings, once your gauge runs out, the rings will revert back into the cubes if that's how they were in their original state. Actually, they've completely disappeared now. Unless they're a bit too low down, I don't think so. I think it just unloads the background. This one's all about getting your positioning and your speed. So get onto this platform, turn back again. Thankfully the meter doesn't actually go down like a lot once you've used the cube, but I think it does drain while the animation is happening. But it doesn't like suddenly drop down like the spin dash does for the spike twist or something. Dude, this is where you gotta go fast, because these things will revert back into the rings afterwards. So you grab that red ring, go under the goal ring, and then this is kind of difficult. Because again, this is where the problem is, where Sonic is blue, and half of that background is blue. And these 2D stages can be really zoomed out. Like, they zoom out a lot in some of these levels. So it's very easy to lose track of where Sonic was. I barely made that platform. It's very easy to miss where Sonic is. Thankfully that's it. I don't know why the results screen is underwater, because we were definitely above the water throughout that entire level. Wait, so if... Why is the sky... I guess it's because we're on a planet? Or is it just the colour of the glass? Because it's like there you can see it's water. But there you can still see like the glass dome and everything is blue anyway. Right, Act 3. This is another one that's going to require quite a bit of backtracking, and unfortunately it's also one that... Well, you're going to use the Rocket Wisp a lot in this stage, and it's going to be... And as such, whenever Sonic exits from the rocket, he goes into that skydiving thing. That skydiving that makes absolutely no sense and should make bottomless pits a non-issue, but I guess they're bottomless, so that's how Sonic dies, I guess. You're going to be doing this quite a lot. Slowly descending back down. And there we go. That's our first red ring. But you are going to have to backtrack because things like grind rails, they tend to send you in the wrong directions. Or sometimes they'll send you a bit further ahead. Thankfully, the backtracking in this level isn't too bad. So we don't have any purpose to go down there, so let's skip it. Oh wait, yeah, we do go down. No, I'm just going after the rings. What am I saying? Ignore me! Ignore me! So the water pressure right now should be really extreme. I'm sure the anglerfish is fine. Anglerfish are deep sea specialists. But hedgehogs, no. Sonic really should be dying. Strange though how they took out this skydiving thing in Sonic Generations. Like you still do these skydiving sections in Generations, but you don't do it after the rocket. But then again, the rocket is mainly just they actually use the rocket in Generations more so how you do it in the DS version. You use it to get through certain barriers. You never really do that in this version, but you do it a lot in the DS version. It's really the closest the HD version of Generations gets to the 3DS, gets to DS colors. Yeah. The 3DS version of Generations remakes Tropical Resort for DS and Wii. But that use of the rocket is the closest that the console version ever gets to Colors DS. Colors DS is good. I don't think it's as good as the Wii version. But that's mainly just because I prefer 3D to 2D. I just find it more fun to play, even though this game is still mostly 2D. So, I don't know, I can't explain it. Colors DS is essentially Sonic Rush 3, so there's much more emphasis on speed. You still have the wisps, you still have like the laser, the drill, and rocket. But you don't have hover, you don't have spikes, you don't have cube, you don't have frenzy. Instead, you have burst. I think I've been over this before. It lets you do like infinite jumps and big explosions, and then you have void, which is that version's version of the Mega Wisp. Like frenzy, you consume things and you get bigger and bigger, but you fly. So basically, it gives you 2 wisps that can fly. That's essentially what it is. Right, I was kind of worried in this part, because I actually do miss this capsule, but thankfully the frenzy still goes down fast. The platform goes down fast enough for me to reach the next one. There we go. There is something satisfying about watching all of this happen at once. Like the frenzy, breaking things, sucking in all the rings. It is surprisingly satisfying to do. It's nothing more than a visual thing. There's no reason for the rings to get sucked into you. You're not the Void Wisp. But it happened. It's pretty satisfying when it does happen, whilst breaking everything, whilst you're huge. As your giant Pac-Man. See, a lot of these stages, your time bonus and your colour bonus still aren't enough. You need high ring counts. Like, I got 742 in this. That's what a lot of these stages rely on. So this one I already had an S rank on to begin with, and the first thing we got to do is go backwards. It's right behind us. For some reason, Sonic loses all horizontal momentum when he jumps out of the water. Thankfully, if you hit the boost button, Sonic does like this air dash, and that helps you. I am at the end of Act 1. Let's see what was beyond that one. Yeah, and they are actually all one big stage that's connected to each other. Like in Tropical Resort, it was Act 3, I think, or Act 2, Act 3 or Act 4, one or the other, where it is possible to go over the goal ring and you can play the rest of Act 1, and it does just finish with the same whisk capsule as a goal ring or whatever it was. I really should have saved this laser for later on. You don't get any points when you use that. You get one colour bonus and that's it. Whereas I come across a bunch of diamonds here, which would have been way more useful to use the laser on. I really should have used it on these. Not that it mattered, still get the S rank anyway, but it would have been way easier to use. And Eggman will tell you that that you should not to worry if there's ever a crack in the wall, if there's ever a crack in the dome. It's just a janitor problem. No, run for your lives. Right, this section right here. Well, I hate this red ring. Every time I play this game, you have to be so precise with your aiming. This took me ages, so many attempts to try and get those red rings, or to try and get that red ring. Because it's one and done. Once you've missed it, I don't think there's any way of getting back up there. Even then, I'm pretty sure the laser wisps disappear. It's not like these drill wisps where they're there infinitely to help you out. No, those laser wisps, once you've used them, you're done. You're not going anywhere. You can't use them again. So just take your time, just make sure you still have enough time to get to the pipe. Which it was really against me doing for some reason. Actually, I think of all of them, this one is probably the absolute worst when it comes to the backtracking. I mean, in the end, you're backtracking to a new area. There's only one way to get to it. It's not like you have to go back in an alternate direction. There's only one way to go. Does that technically count as backtracking? I mean, if I go through here, there's no other way of getting down here. I'm just going backwards through the level. There's no other way of getting through that, and there's no other way of getting back other than this pipe. So it is a single pathway. What's up, jellyfish? You cannot hurt me. But really, thankfully, these jellyfish are completely harmless. They're so pretty, though. Jellyfish can hurt, and sometimes they... A lot of them are weird-looking things, but sometimes they can be really pretty. Shame about the stinging tentacles, though. Try to avoid spike ball here. Dude, this is the level where I kept getting so confused. It gives you so many of these lasers that you really don't need. I mean, they want you to use it there, but I missed and fell down. So instead, we can use it here. And it gives you another laser for this. Why is this laser here? What is the purpose of this laser? It's no use to me getting up those platforms, is it? Is there something down there? Is that where its use comes? No, actually, I don't think it gives you a laser wisp here. That's what it's for, isn't it? I only recorded this the other day. How have I forgotten this? I know I already got this red ring anyway. No, this is what that laser wisp is for. What am I saying? That is the purpose of the laser wisp. So, of course, try not to get hurt here. You're going to want as much boost as you can, because you cannot jump over that attack. I don't even think you can double jump over it. I think it's just going to hit you. So all you can do is boost out the way. If you run out of boost, too bad. You're going to fail, which makes him very annoying at terminal velocity. Look, just barely avoided that one. Weirdly, the lasers only have a set distance. It is perfectly possible to outrun the lasers. Easier to do in terminal velocity than it is to do here. Look at this, Wisp Capsules! I haven't seen them in a while. I don't think there's a single set of Wisp Capsules in Asteroid Coaster. Or Starlight Carnival. They sort of disappear after a while. Don't know why, what was the point of even making them? Like, in the DS version, main stages are Wisp Capsules, missions are gold rings. Like, that makes more sense. I mean, you don't have missions here, but it's like, why even have two different sets then? If the Wisp Capsules are so rare. Also, in the DS version, every single enemy you defeat gives you white wisps, whereas in this version, only certain enemies do. You can also homing attack the Wisp Capsules. Not the gold ring ones, just the regular ones that are hanging around all over the place. You can't homing attack them here, and I don't know why. Because unlike Sonic Rush, the DS version of Sonic Colors does have fully implemented homing attack. It has all of Sonic's moves from this game. So it gives you the stomp, it gives you the homing attack, it gives you the wall jump. I think that's about it. Oh, the slide. It gives you all of that. It's like Sonic Rush, only better, which is not hard to do, because I, for one, do not like Sonic Rush. I think it has horrific level design. And gimmicks that just plain don't work. Again, completing Sonic Rush is freaking luck-based, because it does not... Because those rockets in that final level just go where they want to. You are not in any control over them. Completing Sonic Rush is luck-based. I swear to God. This part's kind of annoying. Because I think if you get hit by these, if you get hit by that explosion, Sonic just falls through the springs for no reason. You can grab this, and now the difficult part is just avoid the Buzz Bombers. Thankfully, it takes a while for the two side ones to start shooting at you. I don't know why they're delayed, but the others go on. But that first one goes on forever. Why is it only now shooting me? You can just make out their heads. Sorry, buzzers. The blue ones are the Buzz Bombers. I think the blue ones are the Buzz Bombers. The yellow ones from Emerald Hill are the buzzers. Other than colour, they are absolutely no different. Like, their method of attack isn't any different or anything like that. That's just how it works. Act 6. The most maze-like of them all. Thankfully, we do have our little fish friends that somehow give Sonic air. They give him infinite air. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but fish can't breathe in it. Fish can't breathe air. Bar select few, fish can't breathe air. So how do they give Sonic air? They also protect it from damage one time as well. Just try not to drill into them. Anyway, you gotta make sure you drill into that, otherwise the current from the fan is just gonna push you away and then you're stuck. If you're fast enough with the drill, it is possible to reach that pipe and it allows you to skip this section. So you can get through it much faster. Now Sonic gets infinite jumps, but if at any point he hits an enemy during one of those jumps, he will launch really far, but you can't do the infinite jumps after that. You're gonna have to wait a few seconds, to which Sonic will start falling again, and then eventually it will allow you to jump again. That part always felt weird to me, and I think the reason why is because it's the only time in the entire game where you have to jump over a bottomless pit in 3D. Any other time there's a bottomless pit, there's either something to get you over it, like a pulley, or there's a whisk. That is the only time where you actually have to jump over a pit in 3D in this game. Now do not be fooled by that large ring trail. You want to go up here, timing is tricky, and then boost. And then that takes you, we're back in Act 2. And again, this part is tricky. Just keep bashing into as many enemies as you can. All the hover has to do is just hit the enemy and that's it. And then just keep moving. Try not to hit these platforms, but just keep moving. And then eventually it stops automatically when you get to here. Grab the red ring and then just go. Now during this skydiving sequence, hug the top wall so you can get onto this upper pathway. That takes you to the dash pad, to the pulley, which takes you to the red ring. Now they want you to play the stage twice. And now just boost down there, hit the dash ramp, and then that can take you back up to this red ring. Simple enough. Well look, there's another bottomless pit we have to jump over. And I should take the upper pathway, but to take the lower pathway you have to jump over it. This room sucks, by the way. Just because of this freaking fountain. That and the camera. But I really hate this room. Sonic Colors is not a game that's designed for taking out enemies. Nobody likes doing that in Sonic games anyway, whether it was Heroes, Shadow, Unleashed especially, 06. At least in Unleashed it was for the Werehog, not for the day stages. I think there was only one time in any day stage, which was the end of Empire City, where you had to defeat all of the robots. And that made the Goring appear. We won't know that because we played the PS2 version. Right, gotta be fast here to avoid the Unagis. So, this guy didn't want to come out. I thought Unagi was actually just the name of the eel from Super Mario 64, but no, it is an actual eel. I don't know if that's what they are. I'm just going to assume they're moray eels, but maybe that's what a Unagi is. It's just a genus of moray eel. I don't know. And finally, we have the worst boss in the game. So I hate this boss, and it's actually because of these things. They're constantly getting in the way of either the missiles or me. So wait for this thing to go up. And the hit detection on these missiles, they must have really small hitboxes, because they can go right through those things. And it is very possible for the air bubbles to stop you in place and then you'll get hit by the missile, because it did happen. And then there's just the challenge of actually hitting Admiral Jelly himself. Sometimes when he swims away from you, he goes slowly. Other times, he goes really freaking fast. You gotta try and take out a few of these guys as well. Like, here he's going quite slowly and then all of a sudden he picks up the pace. I think both times I barely make it. I mean, you can try and speed up like that, but of course that does make your turning a hell of a lot harder. That's it, that's phase 1. Now the more difficult one. So now those giant pillar rocket things, whatever they are, whatever those things are going to start going out at different timings, making them even more awkward to avoid. Yeah, I don't think those missiles hit boxes. They're only right in the middle of the missile. Thankfully, their timing was nice this time around. I bet if I hit that, though, I would have been hit. I bet if I hit that bubble, that would have got me. Again, why is this lever here? Why would you just have that lever? Why even have it? I mean, Eggman is well known for just having a giant hit-me light on a lot of his robots. The Egg Emperor, the Egg Dragoon. Egg Dealer, I don't even know what the hell that was. And now this is something I really don't get. Well, pay attention. I clearly bounce off of him as though he was a wall. And thankfully I'm still able to just about reach him. Like, what happened there? How did I hit him? Like, how did I bounce off of him? That should have killed him. What happened there? I mean, I was able to hit him again anyway, but still, what happened there? Yeah, that's how you S-rank this boss fight. You've got to, otherwise you're going to be there forever. You've got to drill into him, but it's way easier said than done. And there we go, that's Aquarium Park. So only one main stage left, which is Planet Wisp, which thankfully it's not quite as bad as Aquarium Park. So I will see you guys then.